workshop. A woman who believes in vaginas, who really sees vaginas. A woman who helps other women see their own vaginas by seeing other women's vaginas. In the first session, the woman who runs the workshop asked us to draw a picture of our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vagina. That's what she called it. She wanted to know what our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vagina looked like to us. One woman who was pregnant drew a big red mouth screaming with coins spilling out. Another very skinny woman drew a large serving plate with a sort of Devonshire pattern on it. I drew a huge black dot with squiggly lines around it. The black dot was equal to a black hole in space, and the squiggly lines were meant to be people, things, or just your basic atoms that get lost there. I'd always thought of my vagina as an anatomical vacuum, randomly sucking up particles from the surrounding environment. I did not think of my vagina in practical or biological terms. I did not, for example, see it as something attached to me. In the workshop, we were asked to look at our vaginas with hand mirrors, and then, after careful examination, we were to report to the group what we saw. I must tell you that up until this point, everything I knew about my vagina was based on invention or hearsay. I'd never really seen the thing. It never occurred to me to look at it. My vagina existed for me on some abstract plane. It seemed so awkward and contrived, looking at it like we were in the workshop on our shiny blue mats with our hand mirrors. It reminded me of how early astronomers must have felt with their primitive telescopes. I found it quite unsettling at first, my vagina. Like the first time you see a fish cut open and you notice this other, bloody, complex world just underneath the skin. It was so raw, so red, so fresh. And what surprised me most was all the layers. Layers upon layers, opening into more layers. My vagina amazed me. It was more splendid than the Grand Canyon, ancient and full of grace. It had the innocence and freshness of a proper English garden. It was funny, very funny. It made me laugh. It could open and close, hide and seek. I just wanted to lay there on my back, legs spread, looking at my vagina forever. The woman who ran the workshop asked us in the workshop how many had had orgasms. 2 women tentatively raised their hands. I didn't raise my hand, but I had orgasms. I didn't raise my hand because they happened to me. They were accidental orgasms. They happened in water, mostly in the bath, once at Wrightsville Beach. They happened on horses and bicycles, on the treadmill at the gym. I didn't raise my hand because although I had orgasms, I thought it was a mystical, magical thing. I didn't want to interfere. It felt manipulative. It felt Hollywood. The surprise would be gone, and the mystery. The problem, of course, was that the surprise had been gone for 2 years. I was frantic. That's why I was at the workshop. And then the moment I both longed for and dreaded arrived. The woman who ran the workshop asked us to take out our hand mirrors and see if we could locate our clitoris. We were there, the group of us women, on our mats, on our backs, searching for our spots, our locus, our reason. And I don't know why, but I started crying. Maybe it was sheer embarrassment. Maybe it was knowing I had to give up the mystery, the enormous, life-consuming fantasy that someone was going to do this for me. The fantasy that someone was coming to lead my life, to give me direction, to give me orgasms. I could feel the panic coming. The simultaneous fear realization that I had avoided finding my clitoris, had rationalized it as mainstream and consumerist, because I was in fact terrified that I didn't have a clitoris. I thought I was one of those constitutionally incapables, one of those frigid, dead, dry, apricot tasting. Oh God. I lay there with my mirror, looking for my spot, reaching with my fingers, and all I could think about was the time when I was 10, and I lost my gold ring with the emerald in the lake. I kept diving to the bottom, sliding my hands over fish, stones, bottle caps, and slimy stuff, but never my ring. I felt panic. I knew I'd be punished. The woman who ran the workshop saw my insane scrambling, heavy breathing, and sweating. She came over. I told her, "It's gone. I can't find my clitoris. I shouldn't have worn it swimming." The woman who ran the workshop laughed. She gently stroked my head and told me my clitoris wasn't something I could lose. She said, it was me, the essence of me, both the doorbell to the house and the house itself. I didn't have to find it. I had to be it. Be it. Be my clitoris. I lay back. I closed my eyes. I put the mirror down. I watched myself floating above myself. I watched as I slowly began to approach and re-enter. I felt like an astronaut re-entering the surface of the earth. It was very quiet, this re-entry. Quiet and gentle. I landed and bounced and landed. I came into my own muscles and blood and cells. I slid into my vagina. It suddenly felt easy. It fit. I was all pulsing and young and warm and alive. And then, without looking, with my eyes still closed, I put my finger on what suddenly had become me. There was a little quivering at first, which urged me to stay. And then, the quivering became a quake, an eruption, the layers dividing and subdividing. The quaking broke open into an ancient horizon of light and silence, which opened into a world of music and colors, and I felt connection, calling connection as I lie there thrashing about on my blue mat. My vagina is a shell, a tulip, a destiny. I'm arriving as I'm beginning to leave. My vagina